Should I give it intro to camera? Okay, it's Meg. We've just gotten through Fashion Week, and I'm sitting here with the legendary Sophia Lamar. Sophia, how did you end up in New York? Like, I consider you to be like one of the most fashionable people in the city. Like, could you give like a viewer a little introduction of yourself?
I'm Sophia Lamar, and I am a performing artist, actor, model. I call myself professional human being because I have been doing everything. My resume say how much you have, and I do it. How are you? You look great.
I'm
as
good,
always.
thank you. A little worse for the wear after Fashion Week. It's like, like my skin is a mess, and I'm like was taking too much Adderall for a week straight. But were there any highlights this Fashion Week? Like, were there any events you feel like, or like shows you attended that stood out as still really strong despite all the mass chaos?
I love the Anna Bolena show. It was great.
Were you in the show?
No.
Okay.
No. I was in Annabelle-esque.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You looked beautiful in a lot of
Thank
events.
you.
What was
It
that
was
experience
very
like?
post-apocalyptic glamour. I love the Anna Bolena show. I love the pieces. I love the show. It was a spectacle.
How would you describe that
And it was a
brand?
spectacle because it was about downtown New York.
Yeah, it's real
It
downtown.
was people that belong in the city and people that should be here and be out on Fashion Week. You know what I mean? So
It's like the fashion downtown set, but truly, it wasn't like it felt like very, it reps downtown in I think
Yeah.
a very real way. How would you, for our viewers, like describe Anna Bolena as a brand?
it need to it's a little rough on the edges, but her ideas are really wonderful. The execution sometimes are really poor
Yeah.
because she doesn't have the budget, but I think she's brilliant designer.
Yeah.
I have an idea. So I think that she's a Gemini like me. We
Yeah.
are like thinking alike.
Yeah.
She's wonderful, absolutely.
I really admire that Annalie just like, it's so easy to like get so focused in construction and making everything perfect, and she just like goes for it. And,
Yeah.
like, so many people, like especially in the city, you get so like in a headspace of just like being a critic, and like you kind of stop yourself from just like sending it and doing a show, and like she just goes for it.
I read an interview she did, and she said that she made those dresses, and she realized that nobody can walk on those dresses. So then she pinned them in a way that people can walk, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's like around the edges, but in a way that I don't know. It's very like it's like so built in fantasy, but her messaging is still really strong, and I think that's like the kind of fashion I really love.
Yeah.
And I think she has like a real that community around her is real. Like it's not like smoke and mirrors Instagram bullshit. It's like it's very real and like going around downtown all the time, not just during Fashion Week. So it was a
She just needed somebody back her, and she would be blow up. Her
absolutely.
proportions, you know. But
And
you
it's
know, you
smart.
never know when you become so commercial, because when you have a backer, they ask you for the money back and things like that. And she's now independent. She does what she want to do.
Yeah, and it's smart the way she does. She sells like she has her crazy runway looks, and she also like in really unique one of a kind items. But she also sells these T-shirts that she's like branded really strategically, that she can sort of have like easy, ready to wear to sell quickly to support the more like avant-garde crazy.
Like those dresses she have, is like she sells them a lot because she knows exactly that
producible,
something
yeah.
simple and people would buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what was it like being backstage for Oletta? Like, what is it like when you like are like Sophia's been in tons of runway shows, I feel like, right?
Yeah, a few ones.
Yeah, I feel like you're always in something during Fashion Week. That's pretty sick.
And it was a feel like theater, you know, like you always nervous when you go out there.
Yeah.
You always are. You never lose that, no matter how many times you've been in there. Some people say that when you lose down, you better retire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's always very emotional being in a fashion show backstage, especially.
Everything, you know, when you go in front of the audience, you never know what's going to happen, especially live. You know, a light bulb can, you know, fall and hit you in the head, and you can die. Very glamorous.
I would love to die on the runway.
Oh,
I feel like
me too. Me
that'd be the
too. It was
shittiest way to
a lady. She was a socialite here, and she died in the audience.
At a fashion
On
show?
the fashion show,
Do you remember what
yes.
show or what?
I don't know, but you can. I forgot her name. Maybe
I
I'm gonna
need
say.
to look into
Yeah, she
this.
died. Somebody touched her because they thought she fell asleep when the show was over, and then she was dead.
Ugh, that's like the best way to go.
It sounded like Fellini.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she was dead, and
That's-
she was all glamorous, like with big hat. I forgot her name.
I'll have to look her up.
Yeah.
That's like so sick.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
So besides Anna Bolena and Elena Velez, which were really cool shows, like were there any like fashion is very, I don't know, I know you have opinions on this, like fashion's very, we've been talking about like available to everybody now, and now we have these hordes of crowds. It's almost like a touristy kind of vibe during
Yeah.
Fashion Week. Were there any like lows of this past Fashion Week that just were too much for you?
No, I went to, because if somebody was working with, I went to the Marnie after party, and
How was
I was like, oh God, what I'm doing here. It was the biggest mess I ever seen in my life. It's just and it made me feel like the end La Dolce Vita, you know, like when it was like a little pot of water between the men. It was already been saturated about, you know, the La Dolce Vita, and this girl that trying to get into his world. And when I go to this party, I see those people trying to, waiting outside for a long time to get in. And when you go inside, it was like, this is what they're waiting for? It's like, it wasn't even an open bar.
It wasn't okay.
No, it wasn't even an open
big
bar.
brand should have an
so
open
how are you
bar.
going to a party? It's like,
That's the point of Fashion Week parties. At least is you usually get to, at least if it's a corny event, you're supposed to get free drinks. That's like
it was
how the
no free
fun
drinks.
happens.
I thought I went to the bar and saw somebody giving the credit card. I was like,
No.
I'm not going to spend my money on alcohol.
Like talking about, so there was a big line outside Marnie. Like, I think like something funny about Fashion Week is like the line politics. People in New York really hate waiting in line and have like a lot of.
It's nothing to waiting in line for. What is inside any party?
Yeah.
They go inside that I have to wait for. I mean, because that's for people. Then you make them wait to, when they go inside, they feel privileged and they
Yeah.
go and buy drinks. But I
Yeah.
know the tricks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Do you wait in line?
me,
Yeah.
it
No,
has to
no.
be, it has to be something that really is in order, you know. And in life, you make deals, you know. The street lights are there. You can walk if it's red, but you can hit. You can get hit. So you make in life certain deals. I only do lines when you have to do the line because it's the way it should be. You know,
like
it's
an
in
ID
order to get
check.
into.
Yeah.
No, because I have to wait because somebody most important than me coming, and I have to wait until they arrive or whatever it is.
You'll
the
be
policy.
orderly, but you're not in a line around the corner.
No,
I don't think I've ever seen you in a
It's
line
nothing.
like
It's nothing up there for me to maybe wait.
that. Yeah.
No.
Sometimes, like, if it's a crazy line, like, the chaos in the line is more interesting anyways than inside the party altogether, if you're gonna, like, ride that out.
I'm too practical for, like, it's nothing there. I'm not going to get anything. What, drunk? I can get drunk anywhere.
Yeah.
Like socializing with people. I don't network anymore.
Yeah, you don't
I
need
know.
to.
I know. I'm not good at it. So it's nothing there for me. You know. I'm always. If you invite me, I go
Yeah.
and have a great time. But I'm not going to wait outside.
No.
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 What about, like, so upcoming Fashion Week will be in February. Do you have a preference between the two? Do you like September or February Fashion Week better? Is there a difference to you?
I'm a really winter person.
Yeah.
I love the winter. I love the fall and winter.
Me too.
So,
I want to be in a coat.
yeah.
Yeah. But then you definitely can't wait in a line. It's too cold.
But I love Fashion Week in September because that announced the fall is coming, so it made me feel better. And it's always cooler, you know.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the summer. I love it. Yeah.
What do you like to see people wearing at fashion shows? Do you like when people get really dressed up, or do you like it better when people play it cool? What's your, like...
It's really, it depends, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like fashion is about styling. Sometimes it's a little costumey.
Yeah.
and then, like, you don't know what they're selling. You don't know
Yeah.
what are you looking at. And that happened to even big designers like Alexander McQueen. He was fantastic in the beginning, and in the end, he was a very costumey.
I think it's easy for designers to become like a caricature of themselves, especially
Yeah.
when they get a big budget behind them. It becomes sort of, I don't know. Like I feel like sometimes when somebody with a great idea is positive reinforcement, they stop trying new things and sort of just become like a mime of themselves.
I think that people want to overdo, and they're always trying to come out with new ideas, and this season is going to be bigger and better than last
Yeah.
season, and that they become a caricature they used to be. But I love Alexander McQueen in the beginning where he did the fashion show. It was like very simple dresses, but the presentation, the makeup, and everything else was fantastic.
Yeah.
In the end, I didn't like it at all. So
Much
it depends, like sometimes it's about styling, hair, makeup, um, the presentation itself.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you go too theatrical, people forget about the clothes. And
And it seems like people really have forgot about the clothes. It seems like most people at Fashion Week are really there just to party or to post or to have it as a backdrop of whatever is like the idea of being a part of Fashion Week is to them. I feel like we both kind of agree that there's like sort of a max capacity reached as far as like how ridiculous like all the parties and how far away we've gotten from fashion. So would you say that you think things need to get a little smaller, inward facing in the industry?
no, at this point, it's nothing that you can do. Like, I think it will, everything go back to normal, right? And like it used to be, because it's, a lot of designers spend, a fashion show is really, really expensive
Yeah.
to produce. And then when you realize that people go there and sit, and nobody buying anything, nobody, it's no buyers, no press, you don't get anything. So you show your pieces of the showroom,
Yeah.
and voila.
What's it
No,
like
I-
being like a party host in New York? Has it changed over the years a lot?
I think people ask me all the time how nightlife had changed in New York.
Yeah.
And I think nightlife haven't changed. It's the same thing, like it's over and over and over the same play with different actors.
Yeah, just taking the
But
different
the
roles.
only thing that have changed nightlife, the dynamic of the party, is smoking outside.
Yes.
Because if you have 25 people in your party and 15 are outside smoking,
That's
when
the party.
when some people come in, your party look empty.
Yeah.
But it's like most of the people, half of the people are outside smoking. That and the cell phone. A lot of people blame the bottle service, but I think it's more than anything else is smoking outside and
So just people
the
on their
cell phone.
phones.
And I say to everybody, when you are out at 3 in the morning and somebody say, come over here, it's great, do not go.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's having a great time, it won't text you to say, come over here.
You shouldn't be on your phone if you're having a good time. Like, I'm not texting back. Like, if I text you an address and then you don't hear from me, it probably means the party is good. But I think smoking totally killed the party in such a big way.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a way for New York to like have some venues that let you smoke again. Like there need like that would be that's just like also the coolest parties always have smoking indoors.
I
Always.
remember when the first state ban smoking inside the club was California. And I
Really?
remember going to LA and I said, this is impossible to happen in New York City. But I found out later, somebody told me, I don't know if it's true, that the ban on the smoking inside the club was pushed by the tobacco industry.
Really?
Because they don't want to be sued later on, like people, bartenders and people that work in nightclub later on. It's like, I have a lung cancer. I was in a place that people smoking all the time.
So it's like they want to make it slightly healthy by getting us outside.
So nobody can sue them because it was a lot of suit, like people that were smoking for a long time. And
Yeah, and I feel like half the people that start smoking, so they have someone to talk, like they have something to do when they're outside a party. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's like a social crutch.
If you see me smoking, it's because I'm drunk. I don't.
You're not a full-time smoker.
No.
Do you think smoking is fashionable?
Some people look great.
I think it's pretty fashionable.
Some people look great smoking. Some people look like they should stop smoking.
What's the cool way to? How do you look great smoking? How do you look great?
Some
smoking?
people are fantastic. The way they hold a cigarette, the way it goes really well with them. But some people, they should stop.
You should stop.
Yeah.
Maybe you should work for the cigarette companies. When did you start attending Fashion Week in New York?
Fashion Week, it was about buyers and fashion editors and stylists. They go and see the show and write about it or buy, because after all, fashion is a business. So the buyers went and buy the pieces and see you next season.
Yeah.
And now it's just a spectacle.
Yeah.
And everybody want to be part of Fashion Week, and some people have no business in fashion. My first experience was in the 80s when I used to come over here visiting, and like I said, it was like and then the after party was really small. It was the people outside. It was really, really quiet. It was. I actually don't have. I remember when the whole thing exploded. It was 1995, and I was doing a show, and then somebody invited me to Versace after party. And I never see anything like that. It was like before. It was a mob of people outside. It was like the whole block was closed. And I was like, oh my God, this is... I was shocked by it because I never see anything of that magnitude. And now it's like from like whoever to like big brands, you see that spectacle. People don't want to meet. People have FOMO.
Yeah.
Everyone's
obsessed with creating the FOMO too. Like
it's a FOMO, like they want to be seen, they want to be there, they want to post on Instagram, they want to. I'm here, I'm cool. I have, it's all images.
Yeah, it's more about it used to be more of an industry working week, and now it's like a public-facing media situation.
I don't know if you remember, Fashion Night Out.
Yeah, so Fashion Nights Out was like...
It was like a disaster. Saint Guy doesn't exist anymore. That was like the worst.
It was this big night out that sort of invited the masses and the public into like all these fashion events in one
and
night.
everybody have, every store have a bottle of wine, several bottle of wines, and invite people to go, and nobody buy anything.
Galleries.
People just get drunk and are nauseous in the street. It was a disaster.
It was a disaster. Was there a lot of bad behavior going on?
It's just like people that, the masses. I'm sorry, I am an elitist. I'm born this way. I'm not going to be apologetic about being an elitist.
Do you think that there's like a big benefit to fashion, like maintaining some elitism? Like we're at a stage where everything's so blown out, like everybody can be involved. So like, do you think I think Fashion Night Out kind of I feel like that's when everything started going really online, right? That's like when you have the bloggers and like the fashion internet pop off so much, like everyone's coming in. Like now you feel like there's just like when you go out now, do you feel like there's like a random crowd or it's fashion people?
No, it's just like I think Sex and the City, the Kardashian and the celebrities in the first row made the whole thing even worse. I remember when they asked the CEO of Victoria's Secret if they're going to have any transgender woman in the show, and he said no.
And it caused a huge
ruckus. And that was a very, very, and people asked me about it, what I think about what he said. I say I was offended more about the question than the answer. And then finally, they were pushing, and they have a transsexual model, and when you are forced by social pressure, I don't think this legit. I don't think
No.
it's authentic. And I think, like I said before, it's very patronizing and ridiculous.
It's like just, it's like if you want to be inclusive, let things happen naturally. I feel like. It's
Yeah, like a
yeah.
lot of people been using, transgender people didn't work in the wrong way yesterday. In the 80s was, and the, in the 70s was transgender people. In the 60s, but there was hot. And then
Yeah.
in the 80s was Territory and Robert Close, and it was some of them models that were transgender people. And the 90s, and they always been transgender models in there.
Yeah, which is so cheapens into someone's identity because it's like I'm not here to be a statement for you about your brand and just like it's inclusive, just like be one of the regular models.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense.
You can tell when people do things because they want to be cool. It
Yeah.
doesn't come from like a good place. And people that want to be cool and inclusive, and they use people for their own benefit. And then those people in the wrong way think, oh, like, because sometimes it's damage people's mental health. You feel great, you're in the wrong way, the system, because you are fat women and we're used to you. And then next season, you think that everybody's going to call you because you were in the press and you
Yeah.
have the cover of Women Wear Daily, and then nobody's calling you, and you
Just
are,
being
and you feel
used.
depressed, and you feel, and that
Degraded.
is what I say.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Do you think there's so many, like, I think in fashion there's this big thing where there's like so many rules in fashion and so many sort of like brutal truths that people really stand by in the industry and hold, that like fashion's just kind of fucked up and that's how it is, and so like, or seemingly fucked up to outsiders especially.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
In 1993, this photographer shoot me for the collection Soulibet, a French, and I can send you the picture.
Please do.
And the picture was the picture was on Vogue magazine in March 1993, announcing the collections. And the photographer said later on to, I think it was the page 6 of some paper, that the reason he hired to the editor, a Vogue editor, the photo editor, that I was a trend, is because if he told that I was a trend, the picture won't be published. So from there to now, Anna Winter sitting and be all down with tranny. I mean, you change because you change your heart, or you change because it's cool now. What make you change?
Yeah, so if it's
Why
actually,
you have now? Why you have trans people in the magazine now? Because
and it
it's
has to be made a
cool,
big deal of.
Because yes.
Yeah. So you think there's a way, if there's like fashion is still being aesthetic, is just staying true to itself and its aesthetic motivations? Like there's like some inclusivity that just happens, even like that's more authentic because you're just moving from the aesthetic place.
Fashion is a business, and people have to have that clear.
Yeah.
You're selling clothes, and you want to make a business because you went to school, you spent a lot of money in school, you have a business, and you're trying to be very successful in what you do. And how you're successful? Selling clothes. That's what you want to do. So fashion is a business, bottom
Yes.
line. Some people doing art, and some people, and even some like really Conde Garçon, Conde Garçon is the only designer that really do
Can ride the
what they
line,
do,
yeah.
whatever they want.
Yeah.
But Conde Garçon, they make all the money selling perfume
And t-shirts
and t-shirts.
and merch brand. They basically have
Yes,
merch for
exactly,
the
yeah.
art. Yeah, I think that.
In collaboration, they do it with, like Adidas and this and that. And that's the way they make the money.
Yeah, like if you want to be doing art and fashion, it's like you can do that, and then you kind of need to have a separate business on the side. You can't truly like make your artwork in fashion and be selling that as a product successfully. So moving forward, we finished Fashion Week. Like, what are you looking forward to now in your life?
My project?
Yeah, what projects are you working on?
I'm working now on, I just finished a film. Stars is really, it's fantastic. I play a serial killer.
Ooh,
Fantastic.
that's so sick.
Yes. It's about a bunch of homeless women, and I killed every single one of them. And
Is it a horror flick or is it more like?
no. It's just like it's a social thing. This guy won some kind of like grant
Yeah.
because he was able to translate a play into
This movie.
a film.
Yeah.
So and the whole crew live in LA. So they contact me because they saw me on Veneno on
Oh, yeah,
HBO, and it's very social because the group of women are actually looking for hope, love, and they are abandoned by society, by everybody. So they do drug, prostitution, and then I killed them.
And then you killed them.
Yeah.
So what's this experience? So you've done like a lot of acting and great work. What's the difference like in the what's the vibe like being on set for a project like that or working on a film or like taking on the role of actress versus just like I don't know your experience in Fashion Week? Like what is like how is the experience different?
Well, it's
as
completely different. The film is completely different because
Yeah.
the film is hours and you can you know if you fall down in the wrong way, forget it. Everybody, you're in front of everybody.
Yeah.
If you fall down in the film, it's always edited.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different experience. I love theater.
Yeah, I
Theater
love
in
theater.
a wrong way is a little different because you are in front of the audience, but it's really when you have to. I remember I did 6 week and 3 days a week. I play and one day I was hangover and I was up there in front of the audience hangover and I was like, oh fuck. It was completely, it was
You
a
were just
really
fried.
weird experience. The theater's really exhausting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and 6 days
It's
a week is
completely, it's like
crazy.
live fashion show and things like that because you're
Yeah.
live in front of the live audience. It's like, yeah.
I mean, being on a play schedule, I feel like is Fashion Week over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, that's intense. That's very intense. And then, so when does the movie is called
Stars.
Stars, and when does it come out? Do you know?
I think they are actually it is post production right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's coming out in festival first, and then
Exciting.
yeah.
We'll be
I would
looking out
invite you
for
to
that.
the
Please do.
premiere,
I would
yeah.
love to come
No,
see. That sounds
you're
so
invited.
sick. That's really exciting. And
Yeah.
who's the director?
And director is Mark Roberts, is
Okay, cool.
a guy from LA. I think this is a third film.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Sophia.
Thank
that was
you.
perfect. You
Thank
gave us
you.
so much
Thank
good
you.
stuff.
Thank